Hello, everyone, and hi, Martin.
Hi Matilda. Hi, hello everyone. Nice to know that someone is actually there and listening to us. So yeah,
Yeah, we
hopefully
have
you will all enjoy.
we have 18 people already, so
Nice.
I think we can wait 1 or 2 more minutes before we start.
Sure thing.
11 people. People are still joining us. Okay. Hi, hello. Okay, so I think we will start with a short introduction so everyone can join us. And first, Martin, I'd like to say thank you for your time and for preparing today's presentation, and also welcome all our participants. Well, for those who don't know our event yet, so Functional World is organized by Scalac, and the general purpose of our meetings is to improve learning and knowledge sharing among those who are passionate about functional programming. So we cooperate with various speakers. So if you would like to join us and become a speaker of Functional World, you can contact us. You will have all contact details in the chat later on. I would also like to thank our partners, InfoShare Academy, Software Development Academy, and CodeMe. They provide trainings for those who enter IT industry, but also for those who want to strengthen their skills. Also, we have 6% discount for InfoShare courses for Docker and AWS, but they are conducted in Polish. I will share all information in the chat. Now I want to give a floor to our Scala developer from Scalac and Kasia, who is our talent hero. They want to say hello to you and just introduce themselves. So, hi Kasia and hi Jorge.
Hello. Hi everyone. It's nice to be here. And my name is Jorge Vasquez, and I'm Scala developer here at Scala. And I'm just here today to let you guys know that we have open positions in Scala now. So if you are interested to work with ZIO, for example, you can apply today, and we have positions open for all the levels, so junior, mid-level, or senior. So I encourage you to join us, and I hope you enjoy the talk today.
Yeah, thank you, Jorge, for letting it know. So, my name is Kasia. Nice to meet you. I'm a recruiter at Scalac, and if anyone of you will be interested in joining us, feel free to contact me on mail or LinkedIn. I would love to give you more details about it. And that's all from my side. Thank you so much, and enjoy the speech.
Thank you, Kasia, and thank you, Jorge. Okay, so I think now we can move on to Martin's presentation. So Martin, if you are ready.
Yeah, sure. Before I start, let me briefly say thank you to you, Matilda, and the whole Scala team that for the invitation. I'm more than happy to to give this talk today in front of all of you, and thanks everyone who joined. Regarding what Kasia and Jorge said, Myself, I think I'm in a different position as an ex-Scala C person, as ex-Scala C dev. Definitely enjoyed working there with great bunch of people. All projects are really amazing. So I'm still wearing my this side. My clothes from them, but clothes is just the nice addition on top of the great team and really great community out there. So definitely couldn't recommend them more. So definitely you should join them if you're looking for your next Scala C gig. Let me know if you can see the slides. They should be visible just right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. Is it okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Good luck, Martin.
Thank you very much. Will be definitely needed. Okie dokie. So my name is Martin, and today I would like to talk to you about ZIO Test framework. I call this the ultimate guide, but I believe that everyone will be, after this talk, everyone will be able to import the project, write some first bunch of tests, and enjoy their ZIO journey. So who am I? I think it's always good to know who's speaking. So my name is Martin. I started using Scala in 2018, so it's almost 4 years now. I think I'm always beginner in mind. I do really like to think like a beginner, no matter if I join the project or I'm discovering new library, or I'm joining new team. I always like to see the documentation. I like to have the rich dev experience, and this is something that ZIO is bringing to us. I'm a bit selfish because I did this talk because I wanted to discover ZIO Test, and I was just looking for a good reason to do this, to spend some time on this. I'm a poet at heart, but seriously, I deeply believe that Scala and was as well as ZIO really allows us to be poets. So to write really good programs that are composable and that can be read as a poems or as a good book. It's my first time at Functional World, so I'm a first time speaker at Functional World. Hopefully, it will not be the last. But I think it's not for me to judge, but rather for the audience and for the Scala C team if they want me to see me here again. As I said previously, I believe that the level of this talk is like a super entry level. Mainly because this was my purpose, to introduce someone who has never touched ZIO Test or has never actually used ZIO into ZIO Test framework and ZIO library at all. I put some memes here and there. Obviously, if you're into Scala community, I guess you have seen many talks given by Jorge. He's the guy who can do memes. I cannot, but at least I try, and I keep repeating this to myself, that at least you try. Until if you try, you can succeed. So obviously those jokes sounds good when I put them in the presentation, but might not sound good now. But hopefully you will enjoy them. So that's me just setting the expectation level as low as possible. But let's move on. So for those of you who are still with us, I just wanted to say a few things that I will not talk about, so you can still enjoy the rest of your evening or the rest of your day. I'll definitely will not be talking about what are unit tests. So things like how to write unit tests, or how to unit test your code or your class. That's not something that we will not be talking about. I will not be talking also about things like why you should have tests in your in your projects? Is it good to have unit tests? How should the parameter of testing be structured? Things like that will not be delivered today. I will not be talking about what is ZIO in general. I think there are like plenty of good talks that are recorded and are easily watchable on YouTube or any other platform. And there is lots of good documentation that will can briefly describe what is ZIO. And obviously, if you're just started with the functional programming, I guess you might be thinking, what is an effect actually? What does it mean? What is the effectful system? But unfortunately, I will not be talking about this on this talk. But what I will try to talk about today, so definitely how to start with ZIO Test, how to write your first bunch of suites, or how to write your first test. How can you improve your tests with ZIO Test? How can you test your effects with ZIO Test? How can you do a variety of things like integration tests with ZIO Test, property-based testing with ZIO Test? How can you express your tests so they can be more readable? And how can you and your project, your code base, benefit from having ZIO Test at all? Okie dokie. All right, but why even should we consider ZIO Test? We have a bunch of other Scala libraries that are considered as test frameworks. So why should we even bother with things like ZIO Test or anything new? I have my specs. I have Scala Test. Why should I even think about introducing something new, something that I don't know? Why should I spend some time on learning? So currently with those frameworks, there are like few problems. Just to name a few, leaking resources. So imagine a situation where your test has acquired a resource, and instead of just fail the test, or because of the timeout, or or whatever, or release the resource once it was tested or used for the test, it passes or fails the test, but the resource is still acquired, it's still logged. The other problem is some test framework use futures as the test effect. And if you're Scala for, I think, at least a few weeks, you know that we actually don't want to use futures as our main test. Our main effect. Obviously, with Scala, we have to work with multiple versions and platforms. Like we have Scala, we have Scala.js. So we have to we don't want to create a set of tests for each platform or version. We want those tests to be portable from one place to another. On top of that, there are some dependencies on other services, where you have to fetch many things from different parts of your project, just to make the test working or compiling. But we already have it. We have functional effect systems. We have referential transparency in place. We have implemented resource safety. We have interruptibility. We have environment type in ZIO. We have all those things. So why not to use those things that were already implemented and already used for purposes of tests, and creating better tests that we can have in our projects. So if you don't know ZIO or ZIO Test, I guess those books are the only two books that you have to read in your entire life, because either they teach ZIO at Harvard Business School, or they don't. So this thing should definitely help you. But no, seriously, to start with the ZIO Test, it's as simple as importing the library dependency into your build tool for the purposes of this presentation, and on a day-to-day basis, I'm mostly using the SBT. So how can you do this in in SBT. And as soon as you do this, you have out-of-the-box working ZIO ZIO tests and the possibility to start your ZIO test or ZIO in general journey. So just to start with something really simple, there's this is the test aspect. No worries. I'm just joking. Like as I mentioned before, I don't want to introduce like the super functional jargon here, or give you some ideas, or what's the how actually those test aspects or any other things that we'll be using today is working internally. This is not my goal today. I just want you to write your first test without not necessarily knowing, what is the even ZIO, or what is the environment type, what is the error type, or the successful value type. It's not necessary to know that. You can learn this on the way. But yeah, to start with your first test, this how you should how you can do this. Obviously, just to let you know, just to mention this beforehand, some things might be different between different ZIO versions. So be aware of that as well. To have your first test working, all you have to do is to define the suite, which will contain other tests. So here we have the result, that is the some method invocation with some argument, whatever it does, and all you want to do is to make the assertion. So we want the result to be equal to some other string, and this is us. We have actually just created our first ZIO test in our project. I've mentioned that some testing frameworks use filters as effect, and as you can think, or maybe you have seen this yourselves. In test, this is like the common approach to have unsafe run sync everywhere, because we, at the end of the day, we want not only describe our effects, but we want to run them. But as some of you might already know, with running those effects, we actually lose lots of power. We might run into many subtle bugs, like that just might be describing some behavior, but you might not actually running them because someone just forget to put this unsafe rank somewhere. Or we might have things like deadlocks. So why not to leverage the power of ZIO? We want to have and use actually create this framework that knows about effect, that is totally aware that something like effect exists. So this will definitely help us to avoid subtle bugs, and as well as will help us to clean up our test. So in this example, you can see that the test method that is just different by the M word. If you can see this line with test introduce someone, and compare this to this line with test M expected values. So the main difference is that in this line we have test M. Test M is a method that is totally aware of effect. So it can actually run effects and be aware of them in the scope of this method. Another thing that is really nice is all that ZIO Test is delivering as default implementation of all services. So we have all the services like clock, like random, or anything that you can think of, actually implemented with the environment. So they are easily accessible. easy to test. They can help you handle complex things like like a time passage, because assume that let's assume that something is running for some time in your project, and obviously when you're running your tests, you want them to evaluate your project immediately. You don't want to wait those 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever the the time slot you have in your system. So all you can do is use the for example clock test clock instant that is the default implementation of the ZIO clock. So it will help you to make this assertion immediately. So all of a sudden you will know whether the test succeeded or not. Same with random or other services that ZIO is using, and all of them are available in the environment, which is personally I think it's kind of great and nice to have thing. Resources. We've been all using fixtures that can do something before all, or clean up after all, or be shared some in some different way. The thing is, if we have super expensive layer or a resource that we don't want to that we want to create once and use as many times as we decide. It might be some other service. It might be things like Kafka. If you can think of a message broker, or you have many different things that can be used here. To make your test effective test aware of this, all you have to do is to provide custom layer and provide this implementation of the layer to your test. This way, the test will know how to acquire this resource, when to release the resource, or how to gracefully handle the resource itself. What if we have shared resources? So we have like a very, very expensive resource that has to be shared between different packages, or different files, or or whatever. That's not an issue with ZIO Test as well. All you have to do is to create the resource itself. You have to define all the things, how to create the resource, how to acquire resource, how to release the resource, and all you have to do is to use the provide layer shared method that comes with obviously with the ZIO Test. So it's much easier, because those fixtures that I have mentioned before are definitely not composable. While our solution that you can see on the screen is fully composable, like so we can chain them together. What's more, we can provide the shared layer of resources. So the resource will be acquired once, and release when needed. So we don't run into problems like the test is either green or failing, but the resource is staying used, or has not been released. With the ZIO Test, the resource will be gracefully released for the purposes of other tests. We can also provide this the same layer across many suites. So in some large organizations, when those tests needs to be spreaded across different places in the code base, all we have to do is to implement this once and reuse when needed. Some of you might be using things like property-based testing for either encoding and decoding your JSONs or events or things like that. ZIO Test comes with the nice package of generators. So for the purpose of property-based testing, we can easily generate things like strings, ints, or even combine them into custom case classes or tuples, depending on the purpose. So at the end of the day, we might be having this code that will help us to use generators that I have just showed you to see whether our class or our objects are created correctly. So if they contain concrete values, they are not empty, the password contains the same length before or and after hashing. We might use our creativity here and test those property of those things. If you want to do this, ZIO Test gives you the one keyword, which is check in this as you can see in this example, to use generators, and then for each generated instance, we can make the assertion. Aspects, another thing that is kind of nice in ZIO Test. So if you want to use aspects that might be defining whether you want to ignore your test, you want to time out your test, after some time you want to make this test like a platform specific, so just for JVM, or you want to execute some effect after the test is finished, or you want to make this test flaky or non-flaky. You can do this, and you can do this in a easily composable manner. So you can just annotate your test or suite depending on what you're after, and use given annotations that will help you to work with your test. And obviously you can have as many annotations as you want. So again, you can chain them together and see what they will produce. Another things that I do like in ZIO Tests are assertions. So in ZIO Test, you can choose one of two ways actually. You can either be a poet, so you can obviously learn some methods that comes within the DSL. So you can express your code in a way that you want to assert the result, has length equal to something, and compose this with assertion that result is sorted. Or if you're used to matchers or matcher syntax, or you just want to carry on with your day, you can do assert equal method that will just compare those two values. So you can just express yourself in that way and run this and carry on with your day. You don't have to spend time learning new DSL, because obviously for if you want to use those methods, you have to see them, you have to learn them, or you have to keep them in mind. While it's not the case for everyone. So again, ZIO Test authors wanted to everyone to feel comfortable, and didn't want to put any constraints or on how the tests are being created, how someone is writing tests. So again, they allowed you to use those both versions. Exceptions. We all love exceptions in Scala. or maybe we don't. But again, with ZIO Test, if you have something that is expecting to throw an exception, you can easily work with this exception. So you can use ZIO fail and then run it, and again make the comparison if the failure message is equal to what you're expecting. So again, this makes the exception testing much easier. And obviously, with such a short example that can be seen on the screen, it's not maybe you cannot see the whole power of ZIO test. But if you can think of a large code base that contains many different workarounds with those exceptions, just for the sake of testing them, you will really appreciate the ZIO test and how they handle exception testing. Another thing in testing that I really like as a developer, I do like to have the clear report of what has been, what has failed, what has been green, basically what has passed. So I think it makes the ergonomics much better, and allows me to stay with the flow, either if I'm doing if I'm implementing a feature using TDD, or I'm just trying to write some more tests. And until everything is green, we are all happy. But when things go wrong, we really want to see what is going on. So this is one of the example of the message that is much more helpful comparing to other libraries and test framework. So again, another benefit of ZIO Test that allows me as a developer enrich my dev experience, and allows me to see what's the issue, how to fix that, and see which line of my code is causing some errors. I'll be slowly going to the conclusion of this talk. Yeah, I would really encourage you to use ZIO Test, or at least try with this, because the dev experience is really rich. They have amazing community. The documentation is getting better and better. It's actually extremely easy to onboard new people. So whenever someone is joining your team, or is coming from a different test framework, it will be easy for the new joiner to get up to speed quite fast. The code is well organized, so if you want to see some internals, or it's all open source, and it's really to see, it's really to make a pull request, or ask someone how to manage certain things. There are more and more blog posts that can help you with that as well. And obviously, if you're currently on CATS, or any other effectful system, it's still easy to have ZIO Test, because we have the interop package that allows us to somehow translate or transcript one effects to the other ones. Yeah, definitely. Go explore and have fun writing your tests, because I truly believe that working with ZIO Test will be fun and enriching your experience as a developer. Some references that I have used. Let me. Sorry. Can you see my slides? For some reason, I
can see references.
All right.
Slide about references.
All right, I'll try to. It was frozen for a second. It says processing.
Yeah. Okay. Wait.
Yeah, it's slide number 1 again. Okay, let me briefly go to number 26. I think that's where we stopped. Yeah, sorry for the.
This
Yeah,
one.
so some references that I have used before creating this. And yeah, some special thanks for all you who watched, ZIO contributors, ZIO users, Aidan Fraser, who stands behind ZIO Test, and John DeGos, who's behind ZIO and community. And yeah, thanks Scalacy for organizing the Functional World meetup, so I can attend and join. By the way, if you look for a new geek, I know that there is no real meetup before. Without the hiring part. So yeah, myself and Alex, we are running the Scala Jobs website, where you can find a look for a new gig if you're either looking for a remote, or you're looking for ZIO, CATS, any library. I think everyone can find something for them. And yeah, by the way, Scalacy are there, so yeah, definitely encourage you to have a look. Yeah, please don't ask any questions, as probably I'm less experienced developer than you, so I might not be able to answer them. But yeah, no, seriously, I'm happy to try to answer any of your questions that you might have. If anything will come up that you wanted to ask me about, I'm available on Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, or via email. So yeah, feel free to ask me anytime. Yeah. So I think that's all.
Okay, I can't see any questions in the chat. So yeah. Okay, so I think thank you for attending our event, and see you next time. Follow us on social media and also join our meetup group. So yeah, there will be more information about the next functional worlds.
Perfect. I just hope that someone is still there. So
yeah, we have 21 people.
Nice. Lovely. Yeah, as Matilda say, thank you for coming, and thanks you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Martin, once again for this presentation.
Bye bye. All the best. Take care.